So I'm going to be chatting about that 2023 NFL playoff picture before we start week 12 Thanksgiving Day games on Wednesday, November 22nd, 2023. So we have the Baltimore Ravens are 8-3 in first place. They're taking on the Chargers next in Sunday Night Football, NBC. And then, so the Ravens are in first, which I could see the Ravens, finishing first, but we'll see here. Let's see how the Ravens schedule is. They have to take on the Chargers. They're not the hardest team, but they're the easiest team. They'll take on the Rams, which are easier. And the Jaguars are going to be tough. The 49ers are going to be tough. So the Dolphins and the Steelers, the Steelers are super, super tough, but I should be able to beat them. But they did lose in the first game, so we'll see there. The Ravens have after a while, they have a stretch of 4 tough games. No, actually, they can still fall pretty far, in the playoff picture. So we have Chiefs here. So they have a tough stretch here too. They have to take on. Actually, they don't have the toughest stretch. They have to take on the Packers, which aren't super tough. The Bills, they can be tough. The Patriots, I don't see them. The Raiders, I don't see that. The Bengals. So they have a pretty winnable schedule. So they only have maybe 2 tough games. Maybe the Raiders, but I doubt it. So they have about 2 tough games on their schedule. Otherwise, the rest of their schedule is pretty easy. So we'll see. So the Chiefs should have a pretty good advantage. The Jaguars. Let's take a look at the Jaguars in the playoff picture. Let's take a look here at the Jaguars in their playoff picture. Let's see. They have to play the Bengals, which are pretty easy. The Browns, not too easy. The Raiders, too. They've got 2 tough games. They got the Jaguars taking the Browns. They got the Ravens, which the Buccaneers aren't tough as they used to be. As early as they were early on. Same as the Bengals. With the injury. Panthers. Titans, no way. And so they have 2 tough games. But they should be pretty well off for the playoff picture. The Miami Dolphins, they're 7-3 as well. Let's see who Miami Dolphins have to play. Well, they have to play till the very end of the season. They have to play the Jets. They play the Dolphins, the Titans, the Jets. The Jets, Commanders, Titans, Jets. And they play the Cowboys, Bills at the end. So maybe the second Jets game are going to be a little tougher, but for now, it's the last 3 games of their season. Going to be tough for them. Well, they're pretty simplistic. So we have the Browns. So the Chiefs have a really winnable schedule. But I could see the Chiefs making first place. The Ravens have a really tough schedule. So I don't know, not just because of their toughness of the schedule. You do see them falling, even if they're fallen once. At least fallen once, you do. I don't see them, winning every single one of them. We see them falling probably at least once. And that could open up for the Chiefs. But the Chiefs could fall once more, maybe, to a tougher team. So it could be like, or they have tiebreakers scenarios determine it, or they just determine it based off regular season. Alright, or it's, Chiefs don't fall, and they win. The Jaguars and don't have a super tough schedule. A couple of tougher games, but that's about it. And same with the Dolphins, give us a couple tough games near the end, but they should be pretty fine in the East, win the East, they should be able to win the East, But, those couple of tough games they could lose in the East. I'll say that. The Browns, let's take a look at the Browns. The Browns schedule. Who they have to take on? They have to take on the Broncos, the Rams, Broncos are tougher. The Browns, I wouldn't say the Rams are a cakewalk though. Jaguars. They have to take on the Bears, the Jets, and the Bengals. Those three are easy. Maybe the Jets with the Aaron Rodgers come back. Maybe that's a little bit tougher, but the Bears should be pretty simple game, easier game, and so should the Bengals. So you have something tough. So what's the big Browns? I have a tough schedule on the regular. Texans. The Texans are a good team this year. Are a really good team this year in the South. I don't know if they can win the South though, but they could win the South. I mean, they did beat the Jaguars by 20. So I don't know. They're only one game shy, but they have to play the Jaguars on Sunday. Jaguars. They have actually a winnable schedule. They're the Texans. If they beat the Jaguars, they have the Broncos. They have the Jets, which the Broncos are not super tough, but they're not super hard. Easy though either. It's kind of like a medium difficulty. And then I got the Jets, the Titans, the Browns, which I could see the Browns being a good test for the Titans. Then we have the Colts. So only 3 games where they could potentially lose. Especially if they beat the Jaguars again. And they would win the tiebreaker over the Jaguars. The Texans win. So that would be the Steelers. The Texans do have the advantage over the Steelers because they beat the Steelers. And the Texans too, but the Steelers, there's going to be 4 teams in the NFC North. All 4, we're fighting for a playoff positioning. That was until Joe Burrow was injured at the Bengals. That kept it. Over their season in the beginning, himself, and then they ended up coming back out of it after out of it, and then get injured, and so it's gonna be the Steelers have the Cardinals, which could be tougher. Kyler Murray. And then we have the Seahawks. And then the Ravens. So 3 tough games. 2 near the end of the season. 1. And then there's 1 right there, the Cardinals, which despite the record is with Kyler Murray back is a little bit tougher. So it was a little tougher. The Bills. These teams in the bottom, like the Patriots, I just don't see them coming back at all. I don't see them coming back at all. Same with the Titans. with the Jets without Rodgers. I just don't see it. Until Rodgers comes back, and if they technically aren't eliminated from playoff contention, and Aaron Rodgers wants to come back, and they're trying to compete for a spot, maybe say they're 4-8 or 4-7. Maybe say they're 4-8. And they come back and try to compete for a spot, be 9-8, maybe make a 9-8 playoff spot. Maybe that, but until Rodgers comes back, I just don't see it. Chargers just don't see it either. This year, they've been playing a good team. I just don't know why they're not. They're better than the record shows. I don't know why. Just kind of off here for them. Raiders. I mean, the Raiders have a chance, but they're not I don't think they're. Maybe 9-8, maybe 9-8. But I think the best case would be 10-7. If they get down to 9-8, 8 losses, they're pretty much done. The Bengals, I think they're losing without Joe Burrow, so they're out. The Colts, Broncos, the Colts game. Colts, I don't see them being super tough. I just don't see the Colts being super tough, but they really haven't beat no one of note, really. I mean, they beat the Texans. They beat the Ravens. They have 2 wins or what, I guess. But the rest again, nobody of note on their record. They beat. They're 5-5. They have 2 teams in their top they beat, but that's about it. Not really. Maybe they see it because they got the Buccaneers, they got the Titans, they got the Bengals when they're in. They have the Texans, which they could beat again. We'll see, Have the Steelers, tough. So they got 2 tough games. Maybe one against the Falcons. I don't see it, No. Maybe the Raiders. If they're trying to fight for a playoff positioning. Everything they have, at the end of the season, maybe that game is tough, because, if you're trying to fight for the last playoff spot, you're going to fight hard, give it all you got, so I can see them maybe being tough, but I don't know. We'll see here what happens. But I see 2 tough games. The Steelers for sure, the Texans for sure. Maybe the Raiders if there's some playoff contention. But if not, they still got some. You still want to win. You want to win every game. Now you got the Bills and the Broncos in the AFC. And that is it for the AFC. The Bills and the Broncos. So let's see the Bills. They have the play. They have a tough game against the Philadelphia Eagles and the Kansas City Chiefs. The Cowboys got 3. Chargers are kind of tough. So the Bills, you got 5 more tough games in their schedule. The Chargers aren't super tough, but they're still the Chargers. They're still a good team. So we'll see. They got 5 games, hard games in their schedule. So it's gonna be tough, for them to win them all, but they're probably gonna go 11-6, maybe 10-7. Because the Patriots seem to win. Or are they 6-5? Well, they're 6-5, so they could go. Yep, so they could go. They're gonna be 7-5 for them, the rest of them. See, do they go 3-2? Or do they go 4-1? If they go 3-2, I could see them getting. If they go 4-1, they have a good shot. But if they go if they go 2-3 against the teams, most tough. Every team is the Patriots, and if you factor in the Patriots team, they have to go 4-2 or 5-1. And so many games, they have to. They can't. If they go 3, if they split 3-3, I just don't see it. I don't see them making it 3-3. No way. No way do I see them making it 3-3. I just don't know how stacked the AFC is. You know how stacked the AFC is. The AFC is like really good teams on the top. Really, really good squads. I just don't see it. And then we have the Broncos, have the tough teams, they have the Browns, they have the Texans, they have the Chargers, they have the Lions, they have the Chargers again, the Raiders, and the Patriots team. They're 2 easier games, but man, the Raiders, last game of the season, they might be fighting for a playoff spot. And if they're fighting for a playoff spot, they're not going to be slouches, So we'll see. It's going to be tough, They're 5-5 only. But they have to go basically 5-2. 4-3. I just don't see it, I just don't, because there's already 10 games, Teams have played 10 games already, 5 of them with 7 wins. There's one with 8 wins, have the Ravens 7 out of 8. So, I just don't see it, I just don't. It's gonna be tough, It's gonna be tough. I see probably you have to get in with 10 wins at least, so. And they're kind of near that threshold, a couple more losses, and they're basically winning. Have to win them all in a row. On the NFC here, we have the Eagles at 9-1. Eagles are really, really solid football team. NFL football team. The Eagles, the Philadelphia Eagles, they're a really solid NFL football team. They have to take on really tough teams. So they have the Bills, they have the 49ers, they have the Cowboys, they have the Seahawks, they have the Giants, which are not tough, twice in the last 2 weeks. Cardinals, which Kyler Murray, but still I don't think they're gonna be super tough. So it's like, I don't know, maybe not at this point in the season they may not be tough, but it's Kyler Murray, You can never count them out, Maybe it was his first game back though. Last week was, so maybe he's surprised some teams win some games. But we'll see. There should be okay in the NFC. But for that number 1 though. They got 4 tough games, so they could go 16-1. But maybe they go 15-2, 14-3, which is still pretty respectable record. 15-2, 14-3. I could see them doing that. I could definitely see them doing that. The Packers, Lions have more than winnable slate. They have the Broncos, which are seem tougher now. They got the Vikings twice, in last weeks, and they got the Broncos once in their 15th game. Like once in 15, game 17, in game 16 they played the Cowboys. So they're a little tougher teams at the end, but I could still go like 13-4, 14-3. Their schedule is like really shaped up to do that. even if they lose, 2 of their last 4, lose every other game, Maybe say they lose to one of the 2 of the Broncos or Cowboys. They lose once to the Vikings. They're still 13-4, So, and that might not even get them number 1, which it's hard to think about. Maybe the 49ers. But before that, the Panthers, they're going nowhere. The Cardinals, they're going nowhere. The Bears, just because they have so many losses, but, and then the Bears, the Bears, they're pretty much going nowhere. They're nowhere. They pretty much have to win out. See the Giants are going nowhere. Commanders. They pretty much have to win out. I just don't see that. The Buccaneers can afford to lose 1, but still, I just don't see it. Falcons, same with the Falcons, don't see it. The Rams, maybe with Matthew Stafford. I see the Rams, having that small little shot. But that's what I don't see the Falcons going anywhere for a playoff spot unless it's the division, the NFC South. If the Falcons, if they get in by wildcard, I just don't see it. The way I get in is the division, honestly. So that's about all I see getting in those 2 teams, the Saints and the Falcons. The Rams may have a smaller shot, but not much of a shot, but they have a shot. And the Packers, I don't know. They have a little bit of hope, but not a ton of hope, but at least they got a shot. At least they got at least 2 more last attempt. Maybe 2. But you can afford like 2 more last, maybe 2 more for sure. Maybe 2 more at the most. So now let's talk about the Commanders. And now it's 7-3. You have to see on the 40 Seahawks, the Eagles, the Seahawks, the Ravens. I could split the 49ers, could split. And then the Eagles, could lose once the Eagles, or maybe the Ravens, one of those 2. And then Eagles, It's been Matthew Stafford's playing, so we'll see here. They probably go 12-5, maybe 11-6. So we'll see here how that goes. The Cowboys team. We'll see how that goes. It is the Seahawks, the Eagles tough, the Bills are tough, the Dolphins are tough, the Lions are tough. So they have 7-3 2. I don't see them winning the NFC East, but I do see them, getting a pretty respectable wild card spot, like a fifth place wild card spot. I could definitely see that happening. Where they play the number 2 team, where they are the number 4. They play the number 4 seed, in the playoffs, and just pretty much blow them out. It's not even close, because they're just a wild card team. And even though they probably shouldn't be, it should be top best 7 overall teams. No automatic bid gets in, automatic for division winners. It shouldn't be, but that's how they do it. You can see here, Seahawks, Cowboys, Eagles, Cowboys, Bills. You've got 4 tough games, 5. So I can see them, being 3-2, 4-1. If they're 3-2, and then they beat the Commanders twice. They're still 9-3. They're still 12-5, if they're 3-2. So, or 11-6 if they're 2-3. So, and the Seahawks. Seahawks really have a tough schedule as well. You have to play the 49ers once. Like I said, they split. Yeah, the Seahawks have to play the Eagles and the Cowboys. And they have to play the Steelers. So they have a tough schedule. The Seahawks do follow the good teams, they lost to the Rams twice. And that was with the officers playing. They almost lost to Commanders. They got blown by the Ravens, so I don't know. Maybe they could be like, I don't think they'll fall, to be that bad where they'll fall in the playoffs. But I can't confidently say though that they'll be this is a record 6-4. I can't be confident in saying though that they're gonna be out of the playoffs. I don't think they'll be that bad, but I think they'll get in at 10-7, 9-8. They'll get in at one of those spots, but otherwise, I don't see them, falling out just because how the NFC is. We'll see here. And then the Vikings. Yeah, their only tough games are against the Lions. Left. Maybe the Raiders might be a little tougher, but 1, 2. So you got 6 left, so we'll see how the Bears do. So the Vikings, they'll get in at 10-7. Maybe if they split win against the Vikings, they win against sides at home, and they win them in the Midwest fans. They show the Ford Field. The Lions fans are cheering the Lions in. Maybe they lose then. It's probably gonna be 11-6. Maybe some fluke it's 12-5 if they win both. If somehow they lose both, it's 10-7. It's one of those 3. But I doubt they lose. It's probably win 1, lose 1. 11-6. So they'll get in as the 6 right now. So in the playoff pictures in the AFC, it's pretty much all up for grabs. Top teams are top 7, top 10 pretty much have a shot. Maybe the Broncos, Raiders, or Chargers, maybe some dark horse shot. But there's still a whole lot of seeing for grabs, in the spots, there's a whole bunch of seeing for grabs. a bunch of top teams play each other. There's a bunch, So anything can happen, you can't confidently say like what seed they'll get, for sure, And then the Eagles, and then the NFC, you could say the Eagles probably number 1, Lions number 2. I would say 49ers probably 3. And then we have the Saints or the Falcons at 4. And I would say the Cowboys 5, Vikings 6, and Seahawks 7.